Hi guys, welcome back to Iron Gryphons Studio. So my last video got a fairly decent response on YouTube, so I'm thinking I'm going to continue the theme with like Dnd Scatter terrain, and I'm going to make a kind of sacrificial table, altar, platform of some sort. I'm going to keep it fairly simple. I am going to make the entire thing out of foam, and I'm probably going to use I'm definitely going to use a proxxon because of speed and accuracy, and it'll allow me to get some really nice fine slices of foam that hopefully won't snap, and yeah, and then I'll add some kind of basic designs to it, nothing too fancy, kind of keep it simple, and hopefully it will look quite effective. So yes, that's what's happening today. Let's get to it. Alright, so first things first, let's cut some foam. I'm just going to use my standard XPS foam. This stuff comes in blue, but I think it's mostly grey now, and we don't really get the pink stuff in the UK, so I'm going to use this. I'm cutting it into very thin strips. Alright, so all these are in millimeters, and as you can see, we've got some very thin slabs there for the top and the bottom. Two short pieces and two long pieces for the sides, and then 4 corner pieces. And then I applied some texture using an aluminium ball. I figured I would do it at this stage because it would be easier. I figured when it would be assembled it would be a little bit harder to get into all the gaps and the creases. And then just started sticking bits together. Each corner piece, with a little post here on each corner, with the short pieces between two, and then the long pieces put between those. Very fine bead of hot glue for this. And with the basic shape assembled, I can add it to the bottom slab. I'm using two different sized slabs for the bottom, and then the other two different sized slabs for the top. This just gives a little bit of texture and definition and a little bit of height to an otherwise kind of boring square piece. Once the walls were kind of glued down to the base of it, I wanted to add a few extra beads of hot glue just to really solidify those seams. And that worked really well. Now for the extra bit on the bottom, giving it a little step effect. Healthy dose of hot glue, and gently squeezing together. Now it's actually a very lightweight piece given that it's all XPS foam, so I wanted to add a little bit of weight to it and maybe a little bit of durability as well, just to kind of really bulk out the inside. This is fine because this isn't going to be seen by anyone and it's going to get a lid on it fairly soon. So a few bits of slate on the inside with hot glue. And as you'll notice here, I've got the top glued on, and I'm going to add some little details around the side. I'm just going to eyeball where this needs to be with an X-Acto knife, and I'm just beveling the lines a bit deeper and a bit more pronounced with the beveling tool that I use for everything. I'm going to do that all the way around, and I'm also going to add a little detail between these two lines, just a little bit of a geometric zigzag kind of pattern. And with all 4 sides done, I'm just going to put a little bit on the posts, the corner posts, which looked a little bit bare at this point, so I thought I would just get a bit of styrene rod. You could use a straw or something, and just put a little bit of detail on there so they didn't look quite so mundane. And I added a little bit of detail to the top there, just some nice border, if you like. That's the details pretty much finished. I just wanted to add some skulls to the corners, but to do that I wanted them to sit properly and have a good surface area for adhesion. So I had to slice off the very corner of the top very thin slab of foam there, and that was a little bit delicate, but easy enough done with a very sharp blade. But I had to mod podge and black paint the entire thing first, because I needed to seal the whole piece before adding the skulls on the corners with super glue. Mod podge and black paint is a very essential step of this, because it really hardens up those otherwise quite fragile edges of very thin XPS foam. And then I just went around the entire thing with a more or less extreme dry brush of medium grey. And just so it wouldn't be quite so grey, I made the top slab, just the centre part of it, kind of an ivory or vanilla kind of colour. I was going to do a very deep or more or less black, but I thought that might be just too difficult to really show any texture. And then I applied my usual black-brown wash over the entire thing. Just really picked out all that texture and all that detail. And this is just the same wash that I would use for any other dungeon tiles, and I tried to keep it the same so that all of my terrain sort of matches, and it goes over the entire thing. And if, like me, you've got any areas of the model that is sort of pooling a lot of paint, a lot of that wash, then you can just dab it off with a cotton swab, Q-tip or cotton bud or whatever you want to call it. And there you go, all dry, and I have put a bit of gold around the edge, painted those skulls nice and white on top, and I added some candles there as well. And then I wanted to add a small kind of bronze effect urn. And the way I did this is just with some craft beads stuck together, and then I painted that up using just some bronze and a bit of nylon oxide, and I used some super glue to stick it down. And then I just had to finish off the candle flames with some Uriel yellow from Citadel and a bit of Rise of Rust on top of that as well. I gotta admit, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, put skulls on stuff, it just looks good. And candles yeah, I really like the design. It's really simple, nothing too fancy. I like the gold on the side, it's good contrast, and actually the two-tone effect between the side and the top. Side and top, so you kind of like a dark grey and then a dark tan sort of colour. And then the bronze effect urn. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Very small build, but actually pretty durable considering it's some very fine sheets of foam. Durable because of the mod podge, which is an essential step. I mean, I'm not going to throw this thing around or anything, but still, it's pretty good. That's all for this video. If you liked it, please let me know in the comments below, and feel free to like and subscribe, please. and I will hopefully get back to you soon with another video. That's all for this one, so thanks for stopping by, and happy crafting.